Woke leftists get crushed in school board elections across Florida. We're going to take a look at the red wave that swept throughout the Sunshine State. We're going to see leftists panicking over their humiliating defeats, and make sure to stick with me at the very end of this video when I'll show you why these woke defeats are all harbingers for what is coming next. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. It's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Gang, this week is the week. My movie, The Return of the American Patriot, The Rise of Pennsylvania, is now available for pre-sale at a discounted price by clicking on the link below. And here's the best part. When you purchase this movie, you have the opportunity to join me and thousands of other patriots in my brand new community on Locals, where together we're standing up against woke culture in a censor-free environment. There we are discussing the movement surrounding this movie, and there's bonus special content from myself, my team, and even Senator Doug Mastriano and other guests. The movie will be released on September 15th, but pre-purchase it now to get exclusive discounts, bonus content, and best of all, stand up against the woke mob as a courageous patriot. Showing the world patriotism cannot be stopped. Make sure to click on that link below or go to the Return of the American Patriot.com. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Man, what a night for conservatives in one of the last primary Tuesdays before the big midterms in November. Conservatives across the great red state of Florida, a state that has clearly shifted from a purple swing state to a solid red state. Conservatives are celebrating across the state after they successfully flipped a number of woke leftist school boards. Earlier, Governor Ron DeSantis encouraged his fellow Floridians to get out there and vote for the conservative candidates running for open school board spots across the state. He actually highlighted 30 candidates who are absolutely committed to the student-first principles of the DeSantis education agenda that puts education above indoctrination, CRT, and the like. And I'm ecstatic to announce that of those 30 candidates, 25 won their respective elections throughout the state. It was so fun reading the far leftists over at Politico literally gritting their teeth, having to admit that Florida is now a solid red state. I mean, 25 of 30. That's a pretty astonishing exclamation mark in terms of DeSantis' political power in a major state with a massive electoral vote tally. The crown jewel of these victories was without question the flipping of the school board of Miami-Dade County. Miami-Dade is one of the largest school districts in the nation. It was a thoroughly Democrat-dominated school board until last night. It is now the single largest county in America with a conservative school board majority. And of course, it wasn't just Miami-Dade. That was just the beginning. All three conservative candidates won in Sarasota County, which flipped the school board from 3-2 liberal majority to now a 4-1 conservative majority. In Clay County, conservatives took control of their school board as all three conservative candidates swept their elections. In Duval County, which includes the city of Jacksonville, conservatives flipped their school board as DeSantis-backed candidates crushed one particularly radically woke board member who will no longer be infesting Duval County's children with her woke rot. In Martin County, all three conservative candidates won their respective elections, effectively flipping that school board from blue to red. You seeing a pattern here? You know, I know we're a bunch of knuckle-dragging, ultra-MAGA Trumpists. I know, but I think even chimps like us are starting to get the hint here, right? And gang, the list goes on and on and on. Conservatives flipped seats and won school board majorities in Bay County, Brevard County, Flagler County, Hernando County, Hillsborough, Okaloosa, Polk, Putnam. It was an absolute red wave blowout that completely crushed the woke left. It was an utterly astonishing train wreck for all things leftist and cultural Marxist. Now, if you're not aware, these school board victories actually fall on the heels of a comparable red wave that flooded Texas school boards a couple of months back in May. Conservative patriots absolutely dominated school board elections across their state. In 4 suburban Fort Worth school districts, Carroll, Grapevine, Keller, and Mansfield districts, Patriot parents won all 10 contested seats, 10 out of 10. The candidates were all backed by the conservative parents organization called Southlake Families PAC, which is an organization dedicated to ridding Texas's school boards of woke members and replacing them with solid conservative parents who represent the traditional values, interests, and concerns of parents rather than that of the far left, the lunatic left that's thus far taken over school boards across the state and across the country. But of course, now those woke school boards are all collapsing, and collapse they did. Like I said all 10 seats that were open were won by conservative patriot candidates. It was an absolute blowout, but as it turns out, just like in Florida, it was just the beginning. All 15 candidates backed by the anti-woke 1776 Project won their school board elections across 3 Texas counties, Tarrant, Collin, and Harris. And it just kept going and going. Patriot candidates opposed to CRT and mask mandates won in Frisco, Clear Creek, Grapevine, Southlake, Spring Branch, Richardson, and you're going to love this. You're going to love this. Conservatives back in May actually flipped the school board in an Austin district, right? Austin is, of course, notorious for being a deeply blue part of Texas. But even in Austin, the Dripping Springs School Board flipped from Democrat to Republican. Now, obviously, the woke legacy media is absolutely livid over the... Look at this headline from Newsweek. Anti-CRT group crows about flipping school boards conservative. I mean, the piece just goes on to bellyache on how conservatives have been able to successfully turn CRT, or critical race theory, into an election-winning wedge issue, and how unprecedented it is for a governor like DeSantis to get involved in school board elections. Yeah, cry me a river. I mean, these left-wing activists disguised as journalists even went so far as to make the same old, tired accusation that there's no evidence that CRT is being taught in our school classrooms. They actually think that's a winning argument. While they lose school board after school board after school board across the country. Gang, we're even seeing San Francisco throughout this woke school board nonsense. That's how ridiculous this stuff is, and that's how utterly foolish the media looks when they try to defend it. Look, when all is said and done, what woke leftists refuse to see is that wokeism is their ultimate undoing. And we've got the data to show that. But first, just as a reminder, our good friends over at Goldco, they're here to help you protect your savings in the midst of all this economic insanity with the timeless value of gold and silver. They're patriots just like us, and they're here to help you guard and save your assets. Make sure to click on that link below and see how you can get upwards of $10,000 in free silver if you open up an account with them. They're absolutely amazing. Click on that link below. All right, we've talked about this before, but it does bear repeating here. Wokeism is despised and loathed even by people on the political left, as the San Francisco School Board recalls demonstrated. Democrat strategists like James Carville are more and more coming out and saying that wokeism is killing the Democratic Party and making it thoroughly unelectable, precisely because half of Democrat voters want nothing to do with wokeism. And this, of course, goes a step further here in terms of the political ramifications, because, again, as we've talked about in other videos, woke issues don't just split the Democrats, but they also unite Republicans like never before. In other words, Republicans are far more likely and motivated to vote against woke issues than Democrats are to vote for them. And so wokeism, ironically, is a key issue that's splitting the Democrats, all the while uniting and galvanizing Republicans. And that's exactly how Glenn Youngkin won in Virginia. That's how Mayra Flores won in the second most Latino district in the nation. And that is how these school boards are flipping all across the country. Wokeism is being crushed, and ultra-MAGA conservatives have figured out the recipe to continue to crush wokeism in what may be the political formula for a coming red wave like no other. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on a conservative organization you have never heard of before, amassing a massive $1.6 billion, that's billion with a B, for the upcoming midterms. It's going to blow your mind. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.